Welcome one and all to A Hero's Guide to Asgartha. I'm Chili, and today I'm going to be taking us through the article released by Equinox, the latest of their articles on the 30th of April, 2026. And this is really focused on the last of the sets that's going to be produced by Equinox for us, for the community. We still don't know how we're going to get access to these cards. We don't know when things are going to go live on Board Game Arena, but we do know that they have been published for us to be able to eventually get access to it. So let's read through the article and have a look at the 6 heroes, 4 of which are new, that we will be getting at some point. And I know the team at Reunion, Altered Reunion, we are working on being able to incorporate this. We're in the process of trying to develop the seasons, and the current goal or the current discussion is about keeping seasons as they were. We may need to extend those a little bit, but we will go through that and make those announcements as those decisions are being made. So let's read through the article. As some adventures come to an end, others are only just beginning. With the release of Altered's 7th set, Neverending Journey, we want to encourage the community to take ownership of the universe and the Altered's tools to continue the voyage and take the game toward new horizons. Neverending Journey was envisioned as a new beginning, a moment of transition between Altered's origins and the adventures yet to come. Set sail along a new crew and let yourself be carried by the dreamlike winds of the tumult. It is a beautiful tribute to the set to let the community take hold of this edition to build the future they wish to give to the game from here on out. Not bad. Not a bad little introduction. Let's see what happens. Retrace Odysseus's journey. Following the events of Roots of Corruption, a portion of the expeditions falls through the clouds and washes up on the shores of a sea beneath a golden sky. Just remember, they are in the sky. They are up in the air. I always think of it as in them falling through a cave. That is not the case. They have fallen from the sky. So basically from the island that is where the Rika city was. So guided by a stranger named Odysseus, our group sets sail in search of the path that would lead them back to their own. Pretty cool. Actually, I missed a part. Without the support of the rest of the expeditions, this new crew must improvise with whatever they can salvage from the wreckage of their ship. Okay, and then guided by a stranger named Odysseus, our group sets sail in search of the path that would lead them back to their own. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I never thought they would go into do the Odyssey, given we've had some characters already, but let's go through it here. Neverending Journey is our interpretation of the Odyssey, a magnificent voyage across the waves with a desire to put Altered's signature dreamlike quality back at the center of the frame. Here, the sea stirs and takes flight, and a sky of golden constellations stretches as far as the eye can see, yet looms over the horizon, yet looms over the expeditions like a menacing vault. Odysseus comes to the aid of our adventurers, but seems to hide a darker purpose. Retrace Odysseus's legendary journey, but be careful not to repeat the same mistakes he made a long, long time ago. It's quite cool that this is coming, and we know that the Odyssey, the movie, is going to be coming out as well. So gather your crew with 6 new heroes. Among the survivors of this shipwreck, 6 hero and companion duos are ready to join your crew and help steer your ship safely to port. All of them feature a similar new mechanic, the signature token, and each utilize it in their own unique way. So we've got Sierra, Kojo, Zoe, Osric, Iota, and Gray. So let's have a quick look at each of these. So Wayfinder Sierra, and we know under the original premise of Altered, the set 1 to 3 heroes, anything that was only available in 1 to 3 would not have been available for this set. We don't know if that's the case in terms of what we will do with the Reunion. Once again, we'll keep the community updated on that. We might even ask the community for a poll on what is the best way forward. And maybe we will make sure that there's an eternal format. Once again, with so much to work through with BGA and also balancing, now it's community-led, no one's getting paid, so we're going to have to find a way of doing it in the spare time people can give to the project. All right, Wayfinder Sierra in Axiom looks very, very different here than she does before. So at noon, so it is 2 from, you can only have 2 cards in reserve. You can have 3 landmarks. So this is something that differentiates her from the past. You can have 3 landmarks. So again, another character that gives you that. At noon, if you're first player, create my signature token. Oddball 2/2/2 in your reserve. So it's a robot companion with a reserve cost 2, and I cost 2 less if you played a construction this day. So there's going to be the essence of more cards that give you construction. Trying to figure out which ones do, and I can't recall it right now. Not bad. So you'll be able to get a 2/2/2. Looks like everyone's going to have some kind of token, but it does cost you. So you have to put it into your reserve, but it costs you to play it. It costs you 2, and it will be free if you've played a construction. So interesting to see if how many constructions are 2 or less to make this much more viable. But not bad. Let's have a look at the next of the heroes, Kojo, who looks great here. And you can see here that his hand is either healing or he's got some issues here related to the scars he gets in the confrontation in set with the corruption. So Squire Kojo is the Bravos hero. And at noon, if you are first player, create my signature token, which is a Blazing Buddha, which is 3/3/3 in your reserve, and it costs 2 when played from reserve. So you're getting a little bit. It's not as strong as I'd say the Kojo is now. But the other thing to note is, in this case, he is now a Squire. He's learning from a Chardy, I think, is what I've heard so far, and we'll read through a little bit more. So Taras, you've done a great job on the art here as well. Looking at this hero, pretty cool. I love that. Is it a scimitar type of sword? But you can see very, very regal in his look, very different than what we've seen him, and much more grown up as well. Okay, our Lyra hero is Zoe. So 2 cards from, you can earn 2 and 2, so there's no differential. I did actually make sure I talked about Sierra because she does have the 3 landmark slots. But here at the Lyra hero, and she's hanging off the ropes of the ship from what looks like it. When you roll 1 or more dice, if the result is 6+, should it be 1 or more die? Anyway, if the result is 6+, exhaust me to create my signature token in your reserve. So you will exhaust her. You could only do it once, I guess. At noon, if you are first player, create my signature token, shift 1/1/1 in your reserve. It's a companion with a reserve cost 1, and when played from reserve, roll a die. On a 4+, I gain 1 boost. So this looks like this one can come out twice. So at noon, you can create it when you are first player, but when you roll 1 or more dice, you can also then create this as well. So that's not bad, but it has to be a result of 6+ to be able to get it. Martingale will definitely help out a lot on that, and then it's just a chance. But this has, once again, very much in the Lyra faction, the chance of getting some level of upside. This one, though, doesn't really have a downside. But I do like the ability of playing it from reserve. You roll another dice, and you'll be able to gain an additional boost, so it's not just a 1/1/1. All right, that takes us to Osric, and out of the 6 heroes, this is the one that I'm looking forward to being able to play. There's a master they've got on them. Who doesn't love a Ranger? Right, pretty cool. I'm going to find out who he is shortly as we get some of that information. I do believe all that's coming out in the next week. So Osric, Moona hero, 2 landmarks, 2 cards in reserve. At noon, if you're first player, create my signature token, which is Toot. There you go. Okay, my kids think that's something slightly different. 1/1/1 in your reserve. So it's a plant companion, so bringing back the plant element into Moona, which we haven't really seen much of. With a reserve cost 1, and when played from reserve, I gain Anchored. That is not bad at all. Moona Festival decks are going to be happy with this as well. Really nice hero. Shells everywhere. So, yeah. Who is Osric? And then we'll slightly go. Actually, I'll leave it where it is there because we can see everyone. Iota being the next one. Nick and I had a bit of a discussion on this. He thinks this is an American Indian or indigenous person. And like the paint kind of does it. Also, Polynesian would be another way to look at it. But the outfit is very Greek. So we'll see who Iota is. 2 landmarks, 2 cards in reserve. At noon, if you're first player, create my signature token, which is Echo, a 1/1/1 in your reserve. And it's a soldier companion with reserve cost 1. And when played from reserve, if you control 2 or more soldiers, I gain 1 boost. So all those cards that allow you to have an extra, like, leave behind a soldier is going to be really good. Play this second. Especially you don't have to play it from reserve straight away when you are first player. You can actually keep it in reserve as well. You don't have to play it straight away. And that goes the same for all the others. Not bad. It's going to be basically your Sigismar replacement, in my mind. And then that does take us to Grey, being the last of the 6 heroes, Izmir, and he's got some nunchucks, a 3-part nunchuck. So Grey is 2 cards in reserve, 2 landmarks, and what you can tap him, sacrifice a character. Target character gains 1 boost, and that can happen at any time. So that he does have that special ability, very much taking over a Lindaway, or doing something similar to Lindaway. It makes me wonder, maybe Lindaway is the one that suffers the ending, right? And at noon, if you are first player, create my signature token, which is a Malted Maw, 0/0/0 in your reserve, and it's a companion with a reserve cost 1, and when you sacrifice a character, I gain 1 boost, so not as strong as the current Maw, which does give you 2 boosts, but in this case, you do have the ability of tapping Grey to be able to give you the ability of sacrificing, which you couldn't do before. That's not bad, especially under the plan of doing the left and the right. What I'm interested in, though, is what is written on their clothes here. I'm just going to do a little arrow there, a little circle. Really, really cool. Victor, nice job. A nice way of doing something different. And is that another kraken of some kind in the background that we can see? It looks like the tentacles of some kind of animal, or some kind of octopus. All right, the signature token is a character token generated directly in your reserve. This token can then be played like a normal card during the day, or saved for a later turn to maximize its impact. In certain cases, it is even possible to remove its fleeting status, allowing you to keep it on the board for later turns. Several cards in Neverending Journey interact directly with your signature token. They can create it, strengthen it, or trigger its abilities. The mechanic is quick to learn and is woven through the heroes and cards of the set, offering numerous strategic possibilities with a character that is highly accessible and easy to deploy. So this is now, we're looking at the Exalted cards that were available. Win the Favor of the Gods. Some of these cards, including Hestia, we have seen before, but in a very different light, in a very different imagination. And once again, if we think about what Altered provides us, is each of these characters that are Eidolons, they are someone's interpretation and imagination of them, so you can see that these are slightly different. The golden sky dotted with the constellations that stretches over the sea is the home of the gods. 6 of them, inspired by the gods of Greek mythology, watch over the region and can come to your aid during your journey. All right, let's have a look. So we have, and I apologize if I butcher any of these names, because Greek is not my forte at all. So we're going to start with Hephaestus. Let me see if it actually pops up. Oh, I don't know. It's not popping up on screen. This time it will. Hephaestus, god of the forge. He's a character deity, 3/3 for 3/4/3, and I believe all of them have a very similar 3/4/3 or 4/3/3, etc. as we go through. So this has got a new word, also called Temple 2. You may play me for 2 as a landmark permanent construction. At noon, you may send me to reserve. So you don't have to send him to your reserve. You can keep it in reserve as a basically a landmark, and then you get the benefits while it's in your landmark zone. When you pass, you may pay 1 to draw a card. Not bad at all. I guess when you play this in Sierra, the old Sierra, you would have got the benefit. Under the new Sierra, you don't get the benefit because it's a 3 cost, but you don't get to build something. But that's not bad, paying 1 to draw a card on a regular basis. The difficulty is when you do get to pass, you can't play that card that day, but it does give you card advantage for future days if you're willing to not use up all your mana, or you have some the ability of creating those mana seeds, right? Not bad. Interesting. I don't personally know how this will be used, but I love the forge stuff that he's got in here. He's got the molten lava of some kind, something being made, a brick of some kind, and really, really cool. All right, that takes us to the character from Bravos, Hestia, goddess of the hearth, and this is exactly the same. 3/3 for 3/4/3, also has Temple 2, so you can play for 2 as a landmark permanent. And then at noon, you can send it to reserve if you want, but if you don't have to. All right, at noon, each character with no boost in your reserves gains 1 boost. This would be fantastic for Viscera, but Viscera will not be legal in the new season if we follow the current mode of working. Not sure if that is the case. We'll figure that out over the coming weeks and probably coming months. But not bad at all. So you can get additional boosts into your characters just by having this out, but you almost take a day off. Is it worth it is the question that many of us will be asking ourselves. And they are telling us, yes, do it, try it, right? Another one, and let's go into Alira, God, Dionysus, God of Feast, 3/3 for 3/3/4. So you can see that it's slightly changed. It's no longer in mountain that you get the higher stat. It is in water. Temple 2, and the first time you roll a die each day, target character gains 1 boost. Not bad, giving you an Evenka effect, basically, without the downside, and also not the full upside. At least you don't lose your card when you can do this. And now, the way that I've interpreted this is the card has to be in play. It can't be in your reserve to trigger any of these benefits. Okay, that then takes us to Artemis, Goddess of the Hunt. Beautiful looking card, 3/3 for 4/3/3. And this does have the at noon, each character in your expeditions gains 1 boost. So this is once again really targeting the anchored mechanic. If you have anything that is anchored or asleep, you'll be able to give it that additional boost at noon. Not bad at all. 4/3/3, Goddess of the Hunt, Athena. My favorite faction. Let's see how good Athena, Goddess of Strategy, is. Not only is this is interesting, not a god. It's not a deity character. Soldier, a soldier as well as a deity, whereas everyone else, I'm just going to have a look, have only been a deity. This allows us to get the soldier element too. So at noon, create an Ordis Recruit 1/1/1 soldier token in your companion expedition. So you'll be able to play that out. That's not bad at all. I guess the other question I have is, given this is a character, but it's also a construct / permanent, if it gets removed, does it go into your reserve, or does it get removed because it's also considered a landmark? I'm sure the rules are going to come out on that, but that's where my mind is going. So if someone removes it, goes to reserve, or is it treated like a permanent and leaves? I'm assuming you'll get treated like a character, but we'll find out shortly, and when the rules come out related to this. So I think this is actually very strong, always to be able to create this Ordis Recruit. All right, and then that takes us to Hermes, God of Souls. All these art look really cool. Very different interpretations than I would have probably put myself, which is great to see. And what we are looking here, it is at noon. If you're not first player, create your hero's signature token in your reserve, then gain 1 boost. So this is the only time, the only one of the heroes that when you are not first player. Now, your hero's signature token. So in this case, let's go through it. I'm going to go back up a little bit so I can just verify. So when you have Gray and you have Hermes, it allows you then basically to create that more every day, which is really, really cool. Really, really fun interaction. All right, there are several ways to capture the attention of the gods. Like any character, you can play their hand cost to benefit from their advantages directly in your expedition, but you can also play them for their temple cost, and maybe this is actually going to help us. Temple is the second new mechanic of this set, allowing you to play your god as a construction type permanent directly into your landmark zone. Playing your god for its temple cost allows you to deploy it much earlier in the game and activates its passive effect over several days, offering a lasting strategic advantage. From the following day onward and every morning thereafter, you can choose to return your god from your landmark zone to your reserve. It then becomes a character once more and can be played normally, creating powerful opportunities in the late game when every resource counts. And this is very interesting for me then, so because looking at what is written in that narrative, and once again, until the rules come out, we don't know, it feels like it is not a character when it is in the permanent zone. It is, so therefore, if it gets removed, it will be discarded. But once again, we need to find out what ends up happening. So steer your ship safely to port. You will have to navigate from island to island and encounter their guardians, brave the dangers of the sea and the mythical monsters that inhabit it, and relive the tragic fates of forgotten heroes before reaching your destination. Now, what is the destination they're trying to get to? I know they're trying to get home, but where does this end for this set? 6 new Exalted cards offer a fresh challenge to develop or support. And let's go through each one of these, which look great. Treacherous Loop, I'll just talk about that one. That one has been created for some of my AQZ teammates. This here's looking at you, right? We're gonna have some fun here as we go through. So Keelan Guy absolutely loves that. It basically feels like the way that he wants to play. Let's see here. Fane of Helios. Really, this looks amazing. So it's another landmark, permanent, a construction, tough one. At noon, draw 2 cards. Then you may put a card from your hand in your mana zone as a ready mana orb. Jeez Louise. Ramp in Axiom? Oh, I love it. It's expensive though, 6. It's when you get to that point. My goodness. At noon, draw 2 cards and put one of these in one from your hand. Then put a card from your hand. So you don't, not even the 2 that you draw. It could be anything you have from your hand becomes a ready, and it's a ready mana orb. Man, that is good. Okay, expensive though. Next one we have here is Charybdis. Oh boy, Charybdis, a Leviathan. And so this is what we saw in the Izmir hero. That's what it looks like to me. So gigantic. If I'm in water, I am tough 1, and when played from hand, it sabotages. Then you may discard target permanent. So I would assume you have to sabotage because of the then to be able to discard a target permanent. Once again, the rules are going to clarify this. 7/6 for 3/4/4. So not much stats when you think about it. There's others that, but because it's gigantic, you actually have it in 2 locations. The tough 1 is actually really useful as well, and you get rid of potentially 2 cards from your opponent. There's a lot in here, especially as more people are playing permanents in their builds. Okay, then let's take us through the third one. Who is the person that this is set? It's all about. Shrewd Odysseus, character adventurer. Really, really cool. I like the art on his shirt as well. So when played from hand, put in basically a terrain marker on target visible region, and you can choose which one you want to do. This will be great for Nadir. And when played from anywhere, I gain 1 boost per visible single terrain region. So on day, you can never play this on day 1, but on day 2, assuming what you 1 or 2 have moved, one on either side, and you've got something visible, you'll be able to at least be able to get 3 boosts. Not enough. You really want to play this more late game. Let me guide you. I know the end of this journey. Nice. All right, then that takes us to our Muna Exalt. And here, 7/5 Skilla or Scylla. And it's 7/5 for 3/3. Gigantic, so another gigantic. When played from hand, each player discards their hand, then draws 3 cards. Then if the number of cards discarded this way is 4+, it gains a boost. 6+, sabotage. 8+, target expedition moves backward 1 region. I don't mind this at all. I really don't, especially where there are a number of decks that just basically love to draw. This is mostly your Izmir heroes. But this is really, really useful to be able to kind of balance that out. You also can do that for a number of the... Yeah, I think that's the best one is against Izmir, but it's a lot. 7/5, 3/3. You're under... You'll always get at least a boost, right? More than likely going to be able to discard enough. If you don't have many cards in hand, this is also a good way of bringing something back. So Justice Wong with the art on that one. The Homer. All right, it's cool that they call this Homer's Odyssey. There you go. Paying homage to, I believe Homer was the writer of the book. Landmark permanent construction 6/6. And when a character joins your expedition, it gains 1 boost. And then when played from anywhere, create 2 Orders Recruit soldier tokens distributed among any expedition. And that's not bad when you play it straight away. This would be great in Gulrang. But once again, we don't know the rules. If it was coming out as part of the original set, Gulrang would not be legal. going forward. So when a character joins your expedition, I gain 1 boost. So in Gurang, it would almost give you 3 for these crew. This is great. So 666, so you'll be able to get value. Yeah, not sure. This is almost broken in that hero, which is probably why that they were planning for the set rotation. And then we got these bird-looking things that are trying to attack. It looks like they're trying to attack. We'll find out. The last one, Treacherous Loop here, 7/7, spell maneuver, fleeting. When you play it, ready up to 8 mana orbs. Not bad. This is a fantastic after you. So let's see. My power grows each time my myth is reenacted. Odysseus. Not bad. Pretty cool. The last thing about that I think they're going to talk about, discover Rinku Alt-Run Ace and his World Champion card. So originally scheduled for fall of 2026. And before we do that, if there is a video that Altered brought out that actually shows the creation of the card and what's in it, it's really, really cool. I think you guys should give it a go and watch it. Originally scheduled for fall 2026, Neverending Journey was also the set in which we plan to introduce our very first World Champion card, dedicated to Rinku, winner of the 2025 World Championship. We are happy to present Rinku Alt-Run Ace, a memento of his exceptional journey during last October's World Finals. Although the set will not have a physical release, we remain very proud of our collaboration with Rinku. And we can see here in the common and the rare, you've got Kojo lifting him up, and you've got Rin in the out of faction, and he's chosen his 2 favorite factions here. So you've got Bravos and you've got Muna, even though he didn't use Muna at Worlds. So let's go through. I wonder who the dog is. We're going to find out. I think in the video it talks about what the dog is. But let's have a look at the card. The common one, 2/2 for 0/0/0, and target a character you control. I gain as many boosts as its highest statistic, up to a maximum of 3 boosts on me. Jonathan Sukanik. I'm sorry if I've said it wrong. World Champion, and here you can see, like in his hand, he got the little tattoo of the Bravos. There, you also have his girlfriend in the background as well. That's pretty cool to be able to see. And this is almost a depiction of one of the pictures that has the team lifting him up when he won. Not just Team AQZ, but a number of other people that were there. All right. Then the rare. So you can see the flare coming out a lot more in terms of what's here. Really, really cool. Love it. And this one allows you to get 4 boosts. So you can from 3 to 4. And then the outer faction, instead of having the dog, you get to see his World Championship trophy there to be able to hold it up. And as I said earlier, Rin, and it also has the 4 boosts in the rare, in the outer faction that the rare has. All right, as we finish up, set availability. All cards from Neverending Journey will be revealed starting next week in the card gallery on altered.gg. So we'll almost have just 2 weeks to be able to look at those before that site will be shut down. I'm hoping the cards remain there. However, they will not be available via print on demand, as the final slot for Wave 3 was full, and I did a little video on how quickly that went, not even a day. And we unfortunately have no further availability with our printing partner. We will share more information very soon regarding the system being put in place to ensure access to all this data, as well as what will be provided to the community so that the game can continue to live on after the closure of digital services on 20th of May. 2026. Neverending Journey will be included in these materials along with all other editions, and I think that's very good. That transition is happening. I could actually talk through that from Project Reunion, Altered Reunion. We are getting access to a lot of things, and other members of the community are too, so it's not just going to be one location where you can store cards, look at cards, including uniques in terms of giving access to that. Now, I think that's insane how much effort that's going to take, and I appreciate those that are doing it. But that's it. That's the end of this article. Hopefully you had a bit of fun. I'm looking forward to be able to see the cards that get revealed and not just and see how this set was meant to play out, because we will get a chance to play it. These will be on BGA eventually. My hope, though, is that we stick to the current schedule of 4-month releases or longer. So eventually, maybe we move it to 6 months in terms of creating that. But if we extend it, the other thing, as I will be in charge of some of the OP and working with the balancing team, I also hope that then we make better use of our Restrictions, our banning, our suspensions. I don't know if we're really able to do erratas anymore, given that requires a lot more effort from the community to, how do you get access to those cards that have been errated? And maybe we make those available for print on demand of some way or another at a later date. And then it also gives the team some time to build the art and the storytelling and the work that will be associated to the release of set 8, should we go down that path. And on that, I bid you adieu.